So in today's video, I decided that I wanted to talk about Elden Ring and the new trailer that happened at the Game Awards today for Elden Ring, which I don't think anyone really expected, but it's it's pretty cool. We found out a lot of new stuff and how Elden Ring is canonic to a lot of the Souls games, or most of the, or just all of the Souls games. But yeah, but in today's video, we're going to be talking about how they correlate and how I think that they're going to coexist with each other and how everything's going to work. So one of the first things we see in the trailer is it's going to be multiplayer co-op, so you can play with two other friends. You travel a journey together, fight all the bosses, and beat the game together. It looks like all three of you are probably going to be tarnished from a different area in Elden Ring, which we don't really know of yet, but it's going to be fun. Get to team up with your friends, beat bosses, have fun, use different weapons. We also see weapons that we've never seen before in Elden Ring, but in other Souls games like the grapple and other stuff. You could also fly. There's going to be hints of extra speed. There's also going to be included with parkour and some other stuff that we haven't really seen or engaged in a Souls game before. So that's going to be fun to play and mess around with fighting the bosses throughout the story. Another interesting fact that we end up seeing in the trailer is the Nameless King from Dark Souls 3. So that's going to be fun of a return from an old boss that was in a previous game, which I don't know how he's going to play really any role or significance in the story, but I figure that they're going to explain that in the game and not make him some mini or side boss, which would be kind of cool to have the Nameless King as a main boss to tie into the lore of the lands in between, and or we could also get some information about Godfrey and his crucifixion in this game as well, where he had something to do with that, since the games are tied into one another and they either take place in the same land or two separate lands, but they're invading each other, which is one that I'm really stuck on right now. We also get a scene of your maiden from a previous Souls game. It's not fully stated, but it's clear to tell by the way she looks and everything that it is a maiden that we've previously had before. We also get a hint at, like, a little bit of a fast travel, but not that much, where you fly a bird around and that's how you get from place to place, which is a very interesting detail that they added that was needed in older Souls games because we didn't really travel that fast. Elden Ring had torrent, but we didn't really. It wasn't really that fast to travel around the map of a map that size. We also get introduced of the round tables coming back as well, which is kind of interesting and how that's going to play in the role of this area in Elden Ring. We kind of get confirmation that we are in the lands in between because in this next scene, when he says bent on sacking the lands of gold is referring to the lands in between because of the giant Erd tree. And in this next scene, we can also see in the top left corner that the Erd tree is there, so it's kind of confirming we are in the same area, or at least region, of the lands in between that are tarnished from the first Elden Ring was in, which I find kind of interesting in how all that's going to tie in and play out, but I have my own opinion on how all of that works out. So the first theory is if they do take place simultaneously, that your main character protagonists from this game and Elden Ring are having like a race to the Erd Tree, but they had to go through different obstacles to get to it. So that's the first one, that they're having like a race kind of to get to the Erd Tree, but we kind of know the outcome because of the canonic ending in Elden Ring. It's just explaining what's happening in other locations in the lands in between that we don't surely know of, which could be the other side of the Erd Tree that we never really get to see much of. The other theory is it takes place after the game when you free the Frenzy Flame and become the Elden Lord, that all of the bosses and beings from previous Souls games get alerted about that, and they kind of come to the lands in between to see what's going on or try to figure out what happened because it affected their location. But that's a stretch too. But that's it's a theory I have. I don't know much about the Souls game to take me in any of this, but this is all for fun. The next theory is kind of takes place after the game as well, but on a different route. Another theory about the how this game's going to intertwine with the original Elden Ring is that this one's a stretch as well. Is that the gods that you kill throughout the story are the gods of the Souls games, or at least the demigods of the Souls games, and when you kill them, it kind of like breaks the barrier, and then they intertwine with each other, which is the stretch one because it's most likely not true, but it'd be kind of fun to see it. There is one more theory that I'm going to explain, which is probably the most like realistic answer. My second theory is that you're not in the lands in between at all, and you're on the outskirts, where in the same location where Godfrey kind of got crucified, and where he had to retreat from. Um, which would explain a lot about how the other Souls games actually take place outside of the land in between, and everything since the land between is kind of like noted as a safe haven compared to the rest of the outside world, which are going to be realistic, where those are where the gods and higher ups sit at, so they don't have to deal with things and creatures in the land in between and not be affected by anything outside of it to stay like safer than what they usually are. These are just theories, nothing's confirmed. I have more theories, but these are just the main ones I wanted to point out. I have some ones that make more sense, but to time crunch it, I kind of had to like, you know, explain it poorly. If you need me to explain like the theories more in depth, I can make a video solely on just that one theory I had and why I think it is. But that's up to y'all. I just thought I'd make this video because of the new Souls game. I'm kind of excited. I want to play it. I will record it and probably not download it, upload it on release date, which is gonna be fun. I'll be playing with like two other friends. So yeah, the game will be on PS5 and PS4. So if you're have an older generation console, you can play it with your friends. That's not gonna be a problem, which is pretty cool. But yeah, that's it for the video. I just thought I'd put my theories out there, and none of this is confirmed. Take it as it is. But yeah, hope you have a great day and enjoy Elden Ring when it comes out.